Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm Sheldon and this is Behind the Enthusiast. Today we are going to have a little bit of fun. We're going to be doing my prediction video for the 2025 Harley-Davidson models. Now, disclaimer, this is nothing confidential. I don't work as a salesman. So for any of you guys who are wondering, this is strictly predictions. This is strictly me having fun and trying to figure out what Harley's doing, kind of maybe channeling a little bit of my ideas into the company and hoping that they make some of these predictions actually come true. So I just want to get that out of the way there first and foremost, just in case you guys are thinking that I'm spilling the beans on something. There is a lot of that from time to time, and that is why we actually go through a confidential or confidentiality signing every year, basically, just kind of reiterate and have us go through all that. So in case you guys are wondering, we do go through that. So again, this is going to be predictions only and some wishful thinking as well. So let's start from the top, or at least what I consider the top based on the website. Let's start with the touring bikes. Now, as many of you guys know, we had the Street Glide and Road Glide have huge updates for 2024. The CVOs got them in 2023, and it was a little bit of a late release. And so we saw the specials and the STs disappear from the lineup, and then we saw that huge upgrade on the motors. So based on that, I would say the Street Glide and the Road Glide are here to stay, for quite a while. I don't anticipate seeing any different models like specials or STs anymore. I think that those options are kind of gone for us. I think what Harley is really focusing on for the foreseeable future anyway is a lot of those packages going on the bikes. So basically you have the, I think it's the Overnighter, something like that. I can't remember all the names right now, but basically you're going to accessorize your bike for however you want it. So basically, we're going to have that streamlined decision making, if you will, is just going to continue. So I think that's what we should expect. Now, for those of you who don't recall what a carryover model is a bike where there is no major changes. So, for example, let's see. The Road King Special. The Road King Special is a carryover model. That was a bike that didn't get any changes whatsoever, from what I remember. And so, again, I think it's going to be a carryover model with the Street Glide and Road Glide, especially since those two models already got upgrades. The CVO Street Glide and CVO Road Glide, Street Glide and Road Glide, those, see, here's the thing. If we're going by the history of what Harley normally does, generally speaking, you get 2 years of a CVO model in particular. So the CVO Street Glide and Road Glide technically are already on their 2nd year. So are they going to choose 2 different models? I want to say no. I'm going to predict that the Street Glide and Road Glide more or less become standard CVO models. That's going to be my prediction on that one. Now, in terms of the other CVO model, the Road Glide ST, that one is on its 1st year. So again, going by that rule of 2s, I would expect to see it again next year in 2025, just with some new colors. I'm going to say orange, red, blue, or gray, like a silver, metallic or something. So 2 of those 4 colors, red, orange, blue, and gray. I'm going to go with that. Now, obviously, the one year we had really spicy colors. We had a yellow and a green. I don't anticipate seeing those this coming year. I think we're going to see some, well, as far as I'm concerned, staple colors. The red, the orange, and the blue are pretty staple right now. And the gray, you know, with the billiard gray, not saying that they would use billiard gray on a CVO, but something along those lines, and maybe some pinstriping or two-tone layering of paint. So I anticipate the CVO Road Glide ST sticking around for another year, and that is probably my favorite bike for this year, for 2024. So I'm pretty excited if they do come out with it again to see what color schemes they have lined up for that one. And in terms of the other touring bikes, well, we've got the Ultra Limited and the Road Glide Ultra. Now, these two bikes, obviously these are the fully loaded bikes. They didn't get the facelift. They've got the tour packs on them. However, what does Harley have in store for these two bikes? I want to say, I don't know. And the reason I want to say this is because I think there's enough demand. There are enough customers who really like the nostalgic look, and they are willing to pay the price for these bikes. So is Harley going to get rid of them? Is Harley going to do a facelift on them and leave the tour packs on? I'm not 100% certain on this one. So my prediction, I'm a little bit fuzzy. My crystal ball is not quite working on these two models. So I'm going to say that I have no prediction on those two. But I'm definitely interested to see what direction Harley will take. Whether they will get rid of them or do the facelift, or I don't know, maybe something completely different that I'm not even, thinking of. So those two are a little bit uncertain. And of course, that should conclude all the touring models. And then, of course, we get into the cruiser lineup, which is, well, the Softails. So we're going to have quite a few. Let's see if I can remember all of them here. So we have Softail Standard, Street Bob, Fat Boy, Breakout, Heritage Classic, Lowrider S, and Lowrider ST. I'm pretty sure I got all of them there. So 7 models, I believe. And based on what we've been seeing lately, the Fat Bob, obviously, we had to let that one go. Curtain call on that. So that was a little unfortunate because that was my favorite Softail model. So with all the models that are there in the lineup right now, I would really like to see a CVO of something. CVO Street Bob, CVO Fat Boy, CVO Breakout, CVO Heritage Classic maybe, a CVO Lowrider S or a CVO Lowrider ST, maybe a CVO Lowrider ST. I don't think a Lowrider S will get the CVO treatment, to be completely honest. I don't foresee that happening at all. And of course, the Softail is still that entry-level bike. So considering Harley likes to get rid of the older models, like the older engines, because it's still running the 107, is this, 2025, is this the year that they maybe get rid of it? Or maybe it's the final run? Because realistically, I don't think that they can afford to keep that in the lineup, especially when you have the Street Bob for like what, $1,000 more or something like that. So it's not a whole lot of money more. So yeah, that one maybe is on the chopping block. So that's something to think about there. But Street Bob, I don't think they're going to change any of the models. I think they're all pretty much set in what they are right now. Obviously, we're going to have some new colors. So I would say, for the most part, all the cruisers, all the Softail models will be carryover models. The only thing that I would really like to see, though, again, a CVO Softail model, whichever one. Harley, take your pick, surprised me. However, here is an idea. This isn't a prediction as so much as something that I think is cool. And that would be a bad boy. Yes, I know the name kind of sounds a little bit cheesy, but bear with me for a second. The bad boy. The bad boy would be a numbered bike, 1500 or 2000, limited edition bike. It would be a fat boy, which is completely blacked out. Yes, I know you guys are probably going to say, well, we already had that, the anniversary fat boy. Yes, it was blacked out. However, it had a lot of bronze accenting on it, and I don't want to see any bronze anymore on any bikes. I'm sick of bronze, to be completely honest. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it. And so I would love to see a special edition fat boy called the Bad Boy, completely, utterly blacked out, every single piece of chrome and aluminum just black. Just want to see black. Basically, you park the bike at night somewhere and it just magically disappears into the night. That is what I would like to see from Harley. I don't know if they'll ever do it, but Harley, that is a challenge for you. Make it happen. Now, for the rest of the Softails, I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty happy with that lineup, to be completely honest. I think we have a good variety right now. Pretty sure that concludes the Softail models. Now, moving on to the fancy bikes, we're going to put this right in the middle, revivals. I have no predictions for revivals, simply because the Icons collection, you know, the revival bikes, those Harley honestly surprises me every single year. I have not been able to predict a single one. And considering this year, 2024, they came out with the XR750 anniversary collection. There was a lot of memorabilia, a lot of merch that came out. I'm going to say that if they're only doing merch, and they're not actually going to do a revival of the XR750 in some capacity, they're either not doing it because A, they don't have a 750 anymore, or B, they're going to do it later on. Maybe. I don't know. Now, in terms of the Enthusiast collection, I have no predictions there. Harley, again, they generally surprise us pretty well. So I'm going to let them do their thing on that one. I don't really have any predictions on that. And in terms of the next category, we would be looking at trikes. Now we have the Tri-Glide Ultra, the Freewheeler, and the RG3. Now the RG3, I don't think it's due for any updates because we've only had it for, 2 years now, I believe. And if it's only been out for a couple of years, I would say Harley is not going to change the fairing to the new one on the Road Glides, simply because it's too early. I'm going to say it's too early. And the Freewheeler is very much like the Road King Special. There's no fairing to speak of. I mean, realistically, what do you change on the bikes, right? So I have a feeling that the Freewheeler and the Road King Special, which I mentioned earlier, those are just going to be carryover models. I don't think they're going to be having any changes anytime soon at all. And the Tri-Glide Ultra carryover model, I think it's going to be a carryover model as well. And I think that in terms of anyone who wants a nostalgic bike, you know, the old fairings, I think you guys are going to end up having to choose from freewheelers. Or, three-wheelers, right? Trikes. You guys are going to have to choose from these models because Harley's basically switching everything over. So if, for example, they get rid of the big touring bikes, the two Ultras, and they get rid of them completely, and all you can do now is get a base model and add a tour pack onto it, well, where does that leave you? Right? That leaves you with the Tri-Glide Ultra and the RG3. Those would be the two last remaining models which have the nostalgic fairings on them. And I'm going to predict that if that is the way that Harley goes, you might see a huge increase in sales on those two particular models. That is my prediction on those. All right, so save the best for last. No, let's talk about the adventure touring bikes. So at the moment we have two models. Obviously we lost the Pan America base model, and now we've got the CVO Pan Am, which I think I already mentioned this, but if it is going on a 2-year run, technically, if history repeats itself, we should see the CVO Pan Am come back for a second year, which I think is a great idea. These things sold pretty well. We sold 3 at the dealership, and I think there was also, I want to say, 1 or 2 other people interested in them as well. I mean, I bought a special, someone else just bought a special, and I think there was a third one as well. So for some reason, I don't know why, maybe I started a movement here and I inspired a bunch of people, but it seems like ever since I bought my Pan Am, everybody wants one. I don't know why. So I think it's a great idea that they continue to have the CVO Pan Am for at least 1 more year, and then we'll see it go away. I don't think they're going to continue it beyond 2 years. So it would surprise me if they only do it for 1 year though, but it would definitely surprise me more if they continued it for 3 years. So I think 2 years is a reasonable prediction for this particular model. The Pan America Special, we got the graphics update this year, which looks really, really nice. So I don't anticipate any changes on the Special either. So technically, both of these models, I'm going to classify those as carryover models, aside from, you know, the obvious of the paints being changed. But other than that, we had significant changes to those models. So carryover models, yeah, I'm going to say those two are carryover models. However, I do have 2 things stirring in my mind right now. So if you guys remember, last year I predicted a Pan America 975, and here's the thing. I also was looking at some, well, not necessarily competitors because they're Japanese bikes, but I was looking at the Suzuki models, the 1050, the V-Strom, and I noticed that they have a base model and then also a model with bags on it. And my prediction was that Harley was going to come out with a Pan America ST. Yes, very much like mine. So my build, I have actually dubbed the Pan America ST, and that is because it is inspired by the CVO Road Glide ST. So it's going to have the ST badge on it. I'll show you guys the photo that I photoshopped just as a reminder. So taking that into consideration, obviously I was inspired by the ST models, and I'll also hopefully be able to source some more photos for you guys here to kind of give you guys an idea of how they would come up with 2 very different models. Now, ST stands for Sport Touring, which means they could potentially, and I know this is probably a crazy idea, if they come out with a Pan Am ST model, it would have paint-matched saddlebags. I know, crazy, right? That's my prediction. That is what I'm going to go with. Maybe a shorter windshield, cast wheels only, maybe to keep the weight down a little bit. Something where it is a little bit more sporty, weight-wise anyway. I think they would get rid of the center stand to cut down on the weight, but they would put the paint-matched saddlebags on it. And, paint-matched saddlebags. I don't know if they would use the metal ones or the sport bags. I don't know which ones would look better painted. Yeah, I'm not too sure on that one. But anyway, that is my prediction. It's not a very good one, I'll admit that. However, this one I'm super excited for, and again, hopefully I'll have some photos for reference for you guys from online. The 975, hear me out. This is based off of what I've seen online, and also Spite's Corner. Spite was talking about how, and this is pretty general knowledge already, but I was watching his video and he was talking about how production for the Rev Max family is going over to Thailand. And to me, that just screams price cut. So the prices are going to go down. This is basically for all the Rev Max bikes. So the Nightster and Sportster S as well. I don't see why they wouldn't reduce the price. However, supposedly, this is only supposed to be a temporary thing. It's not supposed to continue. So there's some people who are saying, yeah, you're right. We kind of all agree the prices will get lowered because the production is going to Thailand. However, some people are concerned about the build quality. I'm not, personally. And that is not because I already own my bike. I don't think we're going to run into any build quality issues just because it's going to Thailand, because based on what I know about Thailand, they are very, very good. They really are. The people, like the workers, the builders, the manufacturers there, they are really, really good. There's actually a channel that I follow, and CB Media. So Chad is from the US, and he's always over there, and he's always talking about the quality of everything that they do. So based on his insider look into the automotive scene and the build quality and all those things that they make over there, I'm not worried about the build quality at all. However, also, again, based on his channel as well, he says that the labor is really, really cheap over there. So you have cheap labor and really high quality. So I don't know why everybody's so worried, but we're definitely going to see a price reduction for the MSRPs. And I don't think we're going to have any build quality issue whatsoever, which is the perfect breeding ground for the 975, because the 975 is now going to be inspired by so many custom builds. And to be completely honest, I think I mentioned this in my other video, I was thinking of doing a crazy flat tracker build for my Pan Am. However, I decided not to do that, and I went the way of the ST, or the inspired ST build. And that is simply because I still want it to be usable. I don't want to strip this thing down so that it's basically a naked bike. And then when I want to throw saddlebags on it, oh, whoops, I got rid of that. Oh, I can't put this on there. So I didn't want to ruin the bike. So I've kind of shied away from that. However, I think Harley is going to have to jump in with both feet on this one to make the 975 work. Hear me out. So, based on the custom builds that I've seen online, we have fairing deletes. So the side fairings and the brush bars deleted. We could see a windshield delete, front fairing delete, different headlight. We could see a different tail section. The center stand is definitely going to go. The wheels are probably going to be cast wheels, because I'm pretty sure the cast wheels are just a little bit lighter, like 10 pounds lighter or something than the cast wheels. So yes, I did choose heavier wheels on my bike. And the gas tank. The gas tank, my prediction is that the Sportster S gas tank is going to get put on to the Pan Am 975 for weight reduction purposes. And I think we might very well see that be the main change. So we're going to see cast wheels only, because they're the lightest. Center stand is gone. Side stand only. Potentially, we're going to have the Sportster S radiator on there as well, because the lowers are going to be gone and the brush guard as well. So that's a pretty huge weight savings there as well. And if they remove the windshield assembly and maybe have maybe they'll have a small windshield that attaches onto a fairing, or it'll be all one unit. Maybe it'll be a very sporty looking one, maybe not. But other than that, I don't see how Harley can really save a whole lot of weight on a 975. But I think this is kind of the perfect breeding ground for it. They've had the bike out for a while now. I think they've got a lot of ideas, and the design team, the development team is looking at all these custom builds that all these custom shops are doing and going, we've studied everybody and now we know exactly what to do. So, Harley, ball is in your court. Don't let us down. Now, in terms of the last group, obviously we have the sport lineup, which consists technically of 3 models: the Nightster Special, and the Sportster S. Now, my prediction for these 3 models is they are going to be carryover models. I don't really foresee any changes happening, unless, of course, Harley is listening to me about the Sportster S and how shitty, horribly bad that suspension is. Because that was my biggest complaint, and probably my only complaint with the Sportster S, aside from the seat. So if Harley's listening to people who are reviewing their bikes, they'll change the suspension, and maybe, just maybe, they'll make the seat a little bit bigger. Maybe. Other than that, the pill-shaped headlight, I felt it was lacking a little bit. So I don't think they're really going to do anything there, because they would basically have to take the headlight off the Fat Bob and put it on there. Ooh, that's actually a cool idea. So maybe, just maybe, I just had a bit of a eureka moment. Maybe they will take some design cues from the Fat Bob and paste them over to the Sportster S on that front cowling. Put a better headlight in there and have something that kind of is shaped around it, and maybe have like a mini windshield on it. Maybe. So if they don't do that, though, Sportster S just going to be a carryover model. The Nightster Special, just standard carryover. Same thing with the Nightster. Honestly, I don't think those 2 models really need anything. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to ride them yet. Doesn't really matter which one, they're the same bike. I haven't been able to ride either one yet, so I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that I will be able to get on one of those to give you guys a proper review of what I think. And from what I've heard, they don't really need anything. The exhaust, holy smokes. If you guys have a Nightster and you have not put an S&S slip-on muffler onto your bike, just go and do it. The S&S exhaust sounds amazing. Yes, that was a free plug for S&S. Sorry, can't help it, but it sounds so good. We've sold numerous ones of those. It just sound amazing. No different than the Vance & Hines exhaust on Pan Ams. That is the #1 selling exhaust for the Pan Ams right now. So again, another free plug for Vance & Hines. Why not? And let's see. Is Harley going to do what I want them to do? This isn't so much a prediction as a want. And yes, this kind of borderlines Bronx / bare knuckle. I don't know about that. It was so confusing. The Bronx sounds like such a badass name. I wanted one of these Street Fighters when Harley announced it with the Pan Am. I literally was talking to someone at Harley and I said, hey, are we going to get one of these? And he's one of the guys that knows. And he goes, oh yeah, you guys, you'll get one. Don't worry about it. We'll make sure that you're on the list. And then Harley literally pulled the rug right out from underneath everybody. And we didn't get one. So I was really disappointed about that. And so technically, it's been 3 years for that. And my Pan Am has been sitting in the dealership for 2 years. So I wasn't necessarily going to buy a Pan Am. However, the right color one definitely showed up 2 years ago. And because Harley's taken so long with the Bronx coming out, I don't even know if there's a point to them bringing it out anymore, to be completely honest. However, if they do, I still think they will sell pretty well. But my prediction is that they will not be releasing the Bronx this year. I know that I said for, the past 2 years that they will. And I've been wrong 2 years in a row. So I'm going to say no. I'm going to say that Harley doesn't bring out the Bronx this year. And although some of you from Europe keep telling me that the Bronx is going to happen, for Europe anyway, you guys might be right. You guys might actually get the Bronx first. But I'm going to say if the Bronx comes out, it's probably going to take another 2 to 3 years before we see that model. However, this is a model that I would like to see. This is strictly what I want Harley to do. I've been asking for this for I don't even know how long now. Ever since they got rid of the 750 lineup, the street lineup, and Indian has had that FTR 1200, I have been asking, begging everybody at Harley to take my suggestion and give it to the higher ups, give it to the development team and say, hey, make this bike. And that would be an XR. Yes. Hear me out. This is probably a crazy idea, but imagine Harley-Davidson 2025 XR 1250. It's got a nice ring to it, doesn't it? And this would be in direct competition with the FTR 1200. Now I know we've got the Sportster S, but the thing is brutal. The suspension is horrible on it, and I probably will never ride one again. They're just that bad. Power-wise, yeah, the thing's brutal. Like, if you want a fun bike, go buy it. Just make sure you live in an area where the roads are always perfectly paved. But I think they did a little bit too much all in one, and they basically just kind of ruined the idea. Now, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, Harley actually had a flat track build already set up. It was a concept bike. It was in blue. It was quite literally my dream bike. I literally would have bought that bike. If Harley had come out with that bike instead of the Sportster S, I would have bought one of those, and we wouldn't be here talking about how I just bought a Pan Am. I would have bought, I don't know if it would have been a 975 or not, XR 975, maybe. It would actually be a pretty good idea to keep it under 1,000 cc's, by the way. But an XR 1250 does make sense in terms of competing with the FTR 1200. I'm getting really annoyed by people talking about how good they are. I would love it. Absolutely love it. 2025 or maybe even 2026. Harley-Davidson XR 1250 comes out, competes with that model specifically from Indian, and they no longer have bragging rights. That's what they really should do. I'd really like to see them do that. I don't know if they will or not, so it's not necessarily a prediction as more of a request from the design team and the factory. It'd be really cool. I think the 975s minimum are the future flat track bikes that are going to be coming out. I can't remember the guy's name, but there is someone who classified the new Nightster as the, well, new Dyna. And he said something about the wheelbase and everything else. I can't remember his name for some reason. He's a big time YouTuber, and he's definitely got some interesting ideas. So if we can kind of take a few ideas from, I think, Speed Merchant and the Japanese builder from one of the reveal videos. They did a flat tracker as well. Oh man, that thing was sick. Oh, I love that bike. I can't remember what shop they are, but pretty sure it was from Japan. They did such a great job on that bike. Harley needs to make these things happen. They took forever on the Lowrider ST. People had been putting fairings on lowriders and other softail models for a very long time. They should have done this sooner than they did. They finally got around to it, but it seems like they were a little bit late. And I think that if Harley waits any longer, they're going to miss the boat again on a huge opportunity, and that is street trackers. I really think that they need to focus on this because flat track racing is huge, absolutely huge. Indian is constantly winning. The XGs are no longer relevant. I hate to say it, but they're just not. They're not relevant at all. They're not even a production bike anymore. I mean, they are, but they aren't. They're discontinued. They don't make them anymore. So natural progression right now says XR 975 or XR 1250 and just make the damn bike. So yeah, do it. Do it already. And I think that's pretty much it. I don't really have any predictions for new models. I don't anticipate any new models at all. I just have that one request, and that would be for an XR something, anything. Even though I wouldn't be able to afford to buy another bike anytime soon, I would love to see it. I would love to even see a concept bike from Harley. You know, a motorcycle show when Harley comes out and they say, hey, what do you guys think of our XR 1250? Great. Do it. Do it now. So anyway, this was just a prediction video, guys. Having a little bit of fun. Am I going to be right about some things? Am I going to be wrong about some things? My prediction on my predictions, I'm going to be like 98 or 99% wrong about a lot of things, other than maybe the carryover models. That's about it. I think the carryover models is probably the only thing I'm going to get right. But outside of that, I'm probably going to be wrong. And that's fine because, as you guys know, I love surprises, and Harley keeps things under lock and key so well, especially since that leak in, oh geez, I don't even remember now. It's been a while. I think it's been 3 years since we had that leak, and I think, if I remember correctly, someone leaked the ST models. I think that's what it was. They leaked the ST lineup. And I don't remember if it was like a photo from a catalog. I don't remember what it was, but somebody had it on the online on a website somewhere. And then we also had the leak for the new CVO models. That was technically 2 years ago, I guess. So yeah, there was that. But ever since then, we have had pretty much no leaks at all, which is amazing. Now, the only thing that I would like to finish off with is you guys. Yes, it is your turn. So if you guys liked my predictions, smash that like button so I know that it's working, and leave your predictions down below. I want to see what you guys think of mine, whether you agree, whether you disagree, what you would like to see. Basically, I want you guys to do exactly what I did. I want you to say, hey, you know what? I agree with that. I disagree with that. I think this is going to happen. And then I want you to tell me what you want from Harley-Davidson. It can be simple. It can be outrageous. Does not matter. Leave a comment down below what you guys would like to see, whether it's in 2025, 2026. Does not matter. Have at it. The floor is yours. Last but not least, though, be sure to subscribe so you guys don't miss out on future content on the channel. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.